Today we'll be talking about configuring single number reach, or mobility, for Cisco Unified Communications Manager 6.0 and above. So to get started, we're going to go into our Call Manager Administration web page and go to User Management, End User, and we're going to search for the user that we want to configure mobility for. In this case, our username is Mobility User. So we'll select that user, and we're going to scroll down to Device Association. Click Device Association and search whether it's by description, name, directory number for the phone that we want. I happen to have my phone here in the search results already. We'll check the checkbox for that phone and save selected changes. We'll go back to the user and scroll down again. And we're going to find Enable Mobility. Now, one thing here, this primary user device drop-down is all by MAC addresses. It's not very easy to find, and it doesn't give you a searchable field to find the phone that you want. So what we want to do is go up here to the device associations, take a look at the last four of the MAC address here, which is 75F0 in our case, and we're going to scroll down here and look for it on our drop-down box. So we'll click drop-down here, scroll down, and we're looking for 75F0, which is right here, and we will save the user. The next thing that we want to do is we're going to go to device settings, and we probably want to look at access lists real quick. We're going to go through how to configure these, and then later on we're going to show you where to actually apply these access lists. So first thing we're going to do is create a new access list. We're going to add a new access list, and we're going to call it Mobility User Deny List. And we're going to set the owner, again, one of our non-searchable fields, so we need to scroll down and look for the user that we want to have that access list, and we're going to save it. Then we're going to add a member to the access list, and this is an access list we're going to deny users for. So pretty much if their number is a member of this list, then we're going to block them from mobility. It's still going to ring on the user's phone, but we don't want it to ring on their cell phone, just their desk phone. So the number we're going to put in here is 212-555-5556. Just kind of a made-up number, just for demo purposes. So now our access list is configured, it's saved. Next thing that we want to do is go to Device Settings, and then Remote Destination Profile. We're going to add a new profile, and it's going to be called Mobility User Demo. Quick note about the names of the destination profiles and the remote destinations. If you have users that are already using extension mobility and you have destination profiles that are in there maybe with their username or their first and last name, it's going to give you an error if you give the profile here the same name as their extension mobility profile name. So usually what we do is we either put mobility at the end of it, or we somehow give a naming convention that's different than the extension mobilities. We're going to select the user ID for this mobility profile, for the destination profile. Again, not a searchable field, so we're going to scroll down and look for our M user. We're going to set the device pool. I'm going to set it to our Plano device pool. Calling search space, a reroute calling search space. Now, a quick note about the calling search space and reroute calling search space. These are what you're going to use if you want to prevent users from using mobility to send the call to a long distance number or even an international number. You probably don't want them to send it to an international number, especially because every time somebody calls their desk phone, then it will ring that international number and use up valuable resources from your telco lines. So it could be very costly. So recommended to put a restrictive calling search space on there rather than a full-blown one. We're going to save the destination profile. And the two things that we have on here now are add a new DN and add a new remote destination. First thing we're going to do is add the DN. And this is going to be the extension that is on the phone that we're configuring mobility for. So it needs to be in the same It needs to have the same directory number. It needs to be in the same partition that we had before. And really, that's the things that we're worried about to get this working. We're going to save that, go back to configure the mobility user demo device, and we're going to scroll down to the bottom and add a new remote destination. So we were adding a destination profile here. Now we're going to go add just a remote destination. We're going to call this mobility user cell phone. And I like to put cell phone on there or whatever type of phone it is, just so that it's real easy to tell at a glance what number we're sending it to. So we're going to send it to 9-212-555-5555. Again, just another made-up number for demo purposes. It's already filled in what destination profile we're going to use. This is where we configure our access list. So we had a blocked access list. We're just going to select it from our drop-down. You'll notice that when we select the blocked access list, the allowed access list grays out because you can't have both of them at the same time. The blocked access list blocks anybody on the list for mobility and routes everybody else through. The allowed access list only routes through the people that are on that list. So the next thing we're going to do is check the mobile phone checkbox, and we're going to hit save. Click OK. And the last thing that we need to do here is click the checkbox for the line association. If you had more than one line on your remote destination profile, you just need to check the checkboxes for the extensions that you want mobility to be enacted on. So now we're going to save it. Now the configuration is complete, but there are probably a few settings that you're going to want to tweak to get this working exactly the way that your end users want to see it work. The first settings that we're going to look at are actually on the remote destination configuration, and they are these: the answer too soon timer, the answer too late timer, and delay before ringing. The answer too soon timer is used in instances, let's say somebody is calling your phone and it's being forwarded to mobility, but you've gone out of coverage on your cell phone. So most cell phone providers, when you're out of coverage, are going to send the call directly to your cell phone voicemail. So this setting basically prevents the call from going to that voicemail because we want all the calls to go to a central voicemail, the voicemail system attached to the call manager, whether it's Unity Connection, whatever. So this setting is in milliseconds, how many milliseconds it's going to consider answering too soon, where it's going to let the cell phone answer, or whether it's going to continue to ring on the desk phone and ignore the fact that the cell phone voicemail picked up. The answer too late timer is pretty much for the same purpose. If your ring timer on your desk phone is too long, and your cell phone voicemail picks up after the answer too late timer, then it's going to still go to the voicemail for the desk phone. And this last one, I usually try to set it to 0, the delay before ringing timer. That basically allows it so that if you have calls that are coming to your desk, it's going to ring it for this many milliseconds before it even tries to ring your mobility device. And 4,000 is a long time. That's 4 seconds. But then you also have call setup timers for if you're going out of PRI, whatever it takes for the PRI setup, then whatever it takes to get to the carrier for the cell phone, and then whatever it takes for the carrier to set up that call to your cell phone. So 4 seconds is a lot of time to add to all that. Usually I set it to 0 because all that time makes it so that you still have plenty of time to pick it up on your desk before it starts ringing your cell phone. Speaking of ringing your cell phone, the last timer that we're going to look at is actually on the phone itself. So we're going to go to Device and then Phone, and we're going to click on our phone that we are using for mobility, and we're going to go to the extension itself. Now further down on the page here, we've got a no answer ring duration in seconds. This is one of those settings that you're going to have to tweak based upon a number of things in your environment, in addition to the carrier that the user is using for their cell phone, because all the cell phone carriers have a little bit different setup times. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to test the call to the mobility, make sure that the call is ringing long enough on the cell phone, and then but not so long that the user is just hearing ring after ring after ring. So that number you're just going to have to adjust up and down to find out what the optimum setting is for that user. Once you've set that, your mobility configuration is complete.